1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is Venerable Pasatika from Sri Lanka. So first I would like him to introduce himself in terms of before he was ordained as a monk and as a monk what he has been doing, and so you can start with his biography.
Yeah, so I'm Venerable Pasatika from Sri Lanka. My designation at the moment is I'm the advisor to Damsua Meditation Society in Sri Lanka. At the same time, my mainly I belong to Sri Kalyani Yogashrama Sanstha, which is the leading forest monastic tradition in Sri Lanka. So I'm a member of Sri Kalyani Yogashrama Sanstha. As a forest monk, I have gone through my training. I was now in a forest monastery before, and also I train in Kahagolla forest monastery in Diatalava, and also another monastery called Dideniya, which they teach Vinaya. So I learned Dhamma there, and also I have gone through the some techniques of Paoxyado in Myanmar. And also I start my meditation in Sri Lanka as a layperson with Venerable Vipassi Thero, who is not there anymore, who passed away, and also his teacher Venerable Vimalanyana Mahathero, who teach Satipatthana based meditation. So I learned meditation under them, and after that I start teaching meditation and Pariyatti both. So at the moment I am teaching Sutta and Pali, and if monk request I teach and I discuss Vinaya with them in my Pariyatti section, but I don't teach Abhidhamma yet. And also I teach meditation in Australia. So I am the advisor and president at the moment. I am the president and advisor for Australian Buddhist Meditation Association. Or actually they say Buddhist Meditation Association of Australia. I am the president. So when the time you write this article, I'll be advisor, because I'm going to leave my presidencyship next month. So then I am also an advisor and teacher in Nandaka Vihara, Penang. I also do my Dhamma services in Europe and Singapore and India. So I have gone through trainings in Myanmar and some visiting programs in Thailand forest tradition. So I have some understanding about Thailand forest tradition and Sri Lankan forest tradition and Myanmar forest traditions, and Buddhism in Europe, Singapore, Malaysia and Australia, mainly these 4 countries. And now we are doing things in India. So this is my biography. So before become a monk, I have some science background and media background, and also some kind of you can say corporate world background before become a monk, business and all. So I use those skills as well to do my things. So yeah, that's me personally.
Okay, so we can start. Maybe because next month monastic journal will be about the danger of Buddhism in Sri Lanka. For some reason we focus on Sri Lanka. I think mainly because in Thailand we haven't had that kind of same experience because we are mainly, even though we lost the city to Burma, but we, in a way it's still same. Well, Ayutthaya was burned by Burma, so okay. but it's still Buddhist, so we don't have that experience of taking over by the different religions.
Okay.
So I think we can learn things from Sri Lanka because they are.
So before Ayodhya period, Thailand Buddhism was like in a prosperous.
Yes, it's in the basically peak, and then it got burned out by Burmese, and then we take. Even up to now, we don't think we go back to that yet, because in the first few decades.
Why they burn?
Well, it's just fighting between countries. They're just taking over.
They're also Buddhist, no? They're also Buddhist.
They are also Buddhist, yeah. That's why we, in a way, it's just that Buddhism, 2 countries of Buddhism fighting each other. It's not the same like other religion trying to take over. And so we don't have that experience of different religions and how to, basically revive, and what is the danger, what do we have to fear of, things like that. So I think maybe we can, maybe first 10 minutes or so, we can talk about historical perspective of what happened to Sri Lanka in short, and how do they learn from their experience, and how do they come back and have
if you go to the long background history. I think I will not explain all these things because oldest history of Sri Lankan Buddhism goes to 3rd century BC. After 3rd century BC until the era of Polonnaruwa, around 1200. So that time Buddhism was in a very prosperous age where they written Tripitaka, Pali Tripitaka in the books, and Sinhala Tripitaka they translate to, because we didn't have any Pali, Sinhala Tripitaka. Tripitaka was in Pali. Nothing was changed as Venerable Arahat Mahinda brought to Sri Lanka. So the Pali scripture we wrote in the books, and then we translate Pali to Sinhala, and then again Buddhaghosa Acharya translates that Sinhala to Pali as Attakatha. So and then Sri Lanka started writing Tika, and then Sangraha, Getapada, Sanna, all this kind of the text culture started in Sri Lanka early age. So then forest and the city traditions, both Pariyatti and Patipatti, both were preserved in Sri Lanka very well. And there was a downfall in 1200, and after that again they regained Buddhism back from Myanmar and Thailand, and again they even though Prasampada monk lineage was there, they just took some support, and again continue up to 1400. So 14 to 1500 was like again the golden time of Buddhism in Sri Lanka. Even we send monks to Thailand and Myanmar, both, mainly Myanmar. The Kalyani Mahasima in Myanmar was started by Sri Lankan monks in 14 to 1500. And then again Sri Lankan Buddhism started declining from 14 to 1500 to today. In between that time, during the Portuguese invasion, there was a king who was not supported by, who didn't support Buddhism so much. So then because of that, we had to face some trouble. So Buddhism was almost about to vanish. Again, we brought from Thailand and Myanmar. So that the present Buddhism that we have is the second step, which means we brought Buddhism from Thailand and Myanmar. First Thailand and then Myanmar. Previously there was two countries, northern Myanmar and southern Myanmar. So northern Myanmar, Amarapura, southern Myanmar is Ramanya. So we also have. So after bringing these three different Nikayas, all the monks in these three different Nikayas wanted to start a forest tradition. They were interested in forest traditions because they wanted to meditate. Meditation was like there are many very especially some monks, while they are learning Pariyatti, they start thinking whether I can practice this Pariyatti or not. Just the same like Lompocha, same like Ajahn Mun in Thailand. They study Pariyatti and then they realize we can practically use these things to do something. So as we can see, modern day we have some teachers like Ajahn Mun, Ajahn Cha, and also we have monks like Pauk Sayadaw, Mahasi Sayadaw, Swimming Sayadaw, all this Myanmar. So whenever we go to meditation technique, we can see these meditation monks are from forest tradition. They were Pariyatti monks before, they learned Pariyatti very well before, and then they start teaching meditation. So honestly speaking, in the present day, we don't have all these traditional old meditation technique introduced by old Mahatheras. All these new meditation techniques we practice, forest monasteries, forest traditions, not older than 200 years. All these traditions are within 200, 100 maybe, this particular time. So the same influence into Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka also start their forest traditions. Siam Nikaya have their own forest tradition. Ramanya Nikaya have their own forest tradition. Amarapura have their own forest tradition. So had their own traditions before. Among them, this particular organization I'm representing belong to Ramanya Mahanikaya. So they started this organization after independency, especially based on arranging or supporting monks to practice the proper way. The founder did not mention that we are starting this particular organization for monks to meditate, or this is a forest tradition, no, nothing like that. He just wanted, honestly, the first branch was not forest, just village monastery. So their main intention was to enlighten monks, teach monks to protect the correct Vinaya and ask them to live according to that correct Vinaya in a proper way. Like the monks belong to that tradition, never use money, don't eat in the evening, protect all these precepts, don't associate with women, try to protect 227 rules. I think, according to my understanding, they are protecting 227 rules very clearly and cleverly. So this was the main intention of this Mahathera who started this tradition. After that, there were many other traditions also started in Sri Lanka with the same intention, like Siam Nikaya forest tradition. All these things happened after 1948. So different eras. So Ramanya Nikaya, Amarapura, all the Nikaya they started. After this, they saw that okay, we also can practice good Vinaya, we also can meditate. So then they start, and then luckily there were some meditation instincts that survived among Sri Lankan Mahatheras. These Mahatheras took that aspiration, the cream from Vishuddhimagga and Satipatthana Sutta. So they start teaching Buddhist meditation to young students and lay people. It became very popular. People start accepting it because when you read Dhamma, you can see that how a monk should behave. And when they see monks are behaving such way, practically as an example, which is very impressive, so they start supporting. So in the beginning of Sri Lankan forest tradition, 1940s, 50s, they really struggled. People didn't know what are they doing. People didn't know how to accept these people, this kind of new trend to the society. They think this is kind of something show off that they want to do. They didn't really believe. And later, slowly they start recognizing this group of monks. So they are different. They're not like us. They are practicing Dhamma very well. They're doing something else. So they are very much inclined to support the monks, and then they did, which is very nice. So then slowly they develop up to such a level that the monk can understand the Dhamma very well, and then they start teaching Sutta, they start teaching Vinaya, Abhidhamma. So then in the beginning of Sri Lankan forest tradition, all the forest traditions in Sri Lanka, they start with the Pariyatti. So even Yogashrama, my organization, in the beginning there was a center called Dharmayatana. So every monastery there's a structure, like when you have a good monastery, forest monastery, nearby that monastery you build the Dharmayatana, which means Dharmayatana mean the place you teach the Vinaya, Sutra Vinaya and Abhidhamma. So now at the moment, if you see we have main few branches in Sri Lanka. Small branches also there. Main branches are there. So main branch, all these main branch have their own education center nearby. So just like a PAOK also like that, PAOK Seattle. When you have a meditation center, big center, where they train meditators, nearby that they have a Pariyatti. PAOK, I think, practices a different way. They encourage monks to practice meditation first, and then when they are good in meditation and they complete meditation to good level, then they send them to Pariyatti center. Sri Lanka we use a little bit the other way. We try to teach the monks the basic things first. Even Sri Lanka we have examination in forest tradition. This Kalyani Yogashram Sanstha forest tradition. If you want to become a Upasampada monk, if you want to become a higher end monk, you have to go through examination, Vinay. So it's not like in Thailand or Myanmar, you can't just become a Upasampada monk just because you want to be. You have to learn Vinaya. You have to prove that you know Vinaya by sitting into examination. So in that particular examination, if you only know about Parajika Pali, you can score more than 30. That's how the paper is arranged. You have to score more than 30. So we say that if you know only Parajika and Sanghadisesa very well, then that's enough for you to pass that examination. You can score more than 30. That's not a big problem.
So 30 out of 100 is good enough?
30 that is the pass level. If you are below 30, you cannot. Okay. So the examination is designed to to encourage the monk to study Parajika and Sanghadisesa at least up to that level. If you know Parajika very well in detail, I think you can easily get 30 marks. Maybe Parajika and Sanghadisesa, you can get easily 30 marks. So you don't have to go through entire Vinaya. But which is really good for the monks, at least you can stay without going to Parajika. You have to go through exams. So which explain already that you have to go through Pariyatti before you become Upasampada monk. So start is actually from Pariyatti. At the same time, they have meditation time, like hours. Like every day you have to sit certain hours for meditation. And then in Nauyana Meditation Center, they have very good systematic way to meditate. In the top of the mountain, they have total noble silence. So from the morning to the night, they only meditate. And in the ground, they have education part and at the same time other work. And there's another part of Navina. There are three places of Navina monastery itself, and the other part is for monks to go to Pindapata and come back and who eat only one meal a day and just like practicing in the forest.
Okay, when you say pariyatti monk for the meditation, who the monk who want to meditate, what do you mean by pariyatti? Is that include Abhidhamma as well?
Yes, pariyatti. All the pariyatti centers we teach Sutra, Vinaya, and Abhidhamma.
Okay.
There is pariyatti.
So you mean like before monk go to the forest to meditate on their own, they have to know at least basic Abhidhamma as well? It's part
No, not in Sri Lanka. I mean, I'm talking about Sri Lankan way. No, at least Vinaya.
Okay.
Before you complete 5 years, they require you to know Vinaya and at least sufficient knowledge about your meditation technique. So, like as example, if you practice Visuddhimagga, you need to know at least about your meditation technique, which basic Abhidhamma knowledge. Actually, to learn all these Visuddhimagga techniques and the basic things about meditation, you don't need that much Abhidhamma knowledge. It's like the simple knowledge about Abhidhamma can help you, as you know, in Visuddhimagga level of Abhidhamma is enough. Like,
so you have to know Visuddhimagga.
At least Visuddhimagga level is good. If not, if you go to Satipatthana Sutta with the Atthakatha, up to that level of Abhidhamma, like Abhidhamma explanation about Dhammanupassana, Abhidhamma explanation about Vedana, Abhidhamma explanation about mind and...
so basically basic Abhidhamma enough for you to meditate. You have to know well enough about your meditation object. Okay.
Like as example we say, to understand the mind, how the mind works.
Okay.
So Chitta can't at least Chitta Chaitasika is enough, at least. But most of the monks who go to forest and who meditate very well, they learn Abhidhamma as well. They learn Abhidhamma very well, they learn Vinaya very well, they practice Vinaya very well. Sutta also they learn. So most of the monks, I think they would learn Sutta by themselves, by reading and by reading Atthakatha. Very rarely monks go to Sutta classes and learn that. Vinaya and Abhidhamma they learn from teachers.
Do they have to take examination for Abhidhamma?
If you want, yes. If you want, you
but you don't have to.
No. Only compulsory is Vinaya, which is also Patimokkha. This is not actually Vinaya, it's a Patimokkha examination, which don't give you any title. If you want to become a master of Vinaya, then you have Vinayacharya examination for 3 years, and then master of Dhamma, so Dhammacharya examination for 3 years, master of Abhidhamma, Abhidhammacharya examination for 3 years. After you're completing all these 9 exams, you become Tripitaka-acharya. And if you complete the meditation course properly, like you suitable to become a teacher, you become a Kammattanacharya. So there are titles like that, but that not necessarily that you have to earn all these things. Even without all these things, you can start teaching. Some monks earn these things and start teaching. Some monks do not do. It depends on you, but the teachers decide whether you can teach or not according to your character and knowledge. The only compulsory thing is Vinaya examination. Other exams are not compulsory, but 90% of the monks who meditate in Sri Lanka, who have go through our society, our organization, I don't know about other places, our place, we definitely encourage them to learn Sutta, Vinaya and Abhidhamma. Most of them have, 90% of these monks have Abhidhamma knowledge and they practice according to that, because most of them practice according to Visuddhimagga, then like that. And even though if you practice according to Satipatthana Sutta or any other, Abhidhamma knowledge is very important, because when you look into Atthakatha, you can see all these Sutta meditation explanation, they always go through Abhidhamma explanation to reach the Nibbana. So in that case, we learn some level of Abhidhamma before you go to forest.
Okay, so coming back to the topic here is about the danger of Buddhism in Sri Lanka. So what do you say this day in Sri Lanka? What is the danger of Buddhism?
As we say, apart from forest tradition, we also have a temple tradition in Sri Lanka, just like other countries. Like I think Thailand and Myanmar, they have Pariyatti and Patipatti. Sri Lanka, we used forest and temple tradition because I don't know how these terms came out.
Kamawasi and Manawasi.
Kamawasi and Manawasi. But I don't know why they, like in Thailand and Myanmar, they call Patipatti and Pariyatti. Sri Lanka, maybe both practice Patipatti and Pariyatti, because of that maybe they segregate as Grama and Aranya. So then these Gramavasi monks also study. They have a place called Parivena, which is a Pariyatti center. They learn Pali, Sanskrit, Sinhala, our language, up to very good level with a lot of camp grammar. And then you learn Tripitaka as well there. Also these monks meditate, so they practice Pariyatti as well, but they put more Pariyatti and a little bit Patipatti. In forest monastery tradition, they use more Paripatti, less Pariyatti. And then At the same time, you have a lot of work for temple monks to do. When you are in a temple, you have to go through funerals, your dana, all the occasions people invite monks to come here, and there's a lot of involvement with the things, politics sometimes, national movements, so many things. But the forest monks are free from most of these things. So because of that, they don't have much danger. So biggest danger experienced by the city monks or the Gramavasi monks in Sri Lanka, because of the difficulties that they are facing in the day-to-day economical life and the society they live in the cities. Even though a monk wants to practice deeply meditation or something, if you are a monk who live in the city like that, it's impossible for you to just change everything and start your life. It's not that easy. It's quite difficult. So these monks experience sometimes this difficulty with doing something without paying attention to anything else. But I think that's one problem that city monks are facing, because they don't have enough time to meditate. They don't have enough space to meditate. So there is one danger in their side, because if you consider only the city monks, only the Gramavasi monks, their life is getting more and more competitive and challenging because of this growing economy, because they are living in the city. People want them to do so many things, and they want to fulfill the necessity of society, doing the jobs and duties, which heavily time consuming, so they don't have much time to meditate. So, and also when you involve in the society so much as a monk, especially in the young age, then your influence change. So then city monks have a huge danger by mixing up with this technology and the modern day. So then these are the things. If you go to forest tradition, their danger is less, because you are not involved with the society most of the time. You are in the monastery most of the time. You're involved with the monastic society, people who come to the monastery, who understand the forest monastery tradition. You always work together with other forest monasteries. So you're influenced by forest monasteries. Still, biggest threat for forest monks in Sri Lanka at the moment is electronic gadgets, internet, all these things. And so biggest influence is that, because it is like you are keeping a movie theater with you, no? Like whenever you want to do whatever you want to do, you can do by using a mobile phone. If you use a smartphone these days, even financial matters also you can handle there. So you can buy things online, all these things. So it's quite dangerous. So because of that, we recognize electronic as a very big threat to the forest monks who meditate in the forest. And also, previously, forest monks had more time to practice meditation, learn pariyatti, and now we have more forest monks than before, fortunately. Number of forest monks are increasing. The meditation tradition is getting more and more people and support. And then, with that support, as we all know, when you receive more support, when you open up to society, more what happens? More people help you. More people help you. There's a danger that you can change your mind easily. So this is happening in Sri Lanka now, very slowly, very small scale. Some monks are like slowly moving from that forest tradition to a little bit into care about lay people more, and a little bit about to incline towards the city tradition, because like you have a lot of supporters, donors. Now you also want to feel like going to their house and do house dana, chanting, all these funeral. They also feel like doing these traditional activities, which again consume their time a lot, which again encourage young monks in the monastery to mix up with the society more, which is very dangerous for young monks, because they are practicing the path. So the free time, most of the free time that they used to supposed to have, they're losing that free time, which is very much a trouble. So this is one thing. The first thing we can say in a forest monastery, danger in Sri Lanka is electronics, using of electronics and everything. Number two, we can see that exposing forest monasteries to the society more than it should be. Number three, we can recognize the financial support they get. Because I have personal experience, I don't know, many monks will not agree with me, but I have personally, I'm not afraid to say this. Sometimes monks will not agree, but they will say, no, it's good. But I would like many people support forest monasteries, and they build nicely, and every monk can stay nicely in nice kuti. Like as example, previously, most of the forest monks stay at clay kutis, with the coconut leaf roof. So very simple, dangerous. Sometimes mosquitoes can come in, snakes can come and bite you. So dangerous. So now later on, when the support is good, they start building cement kuttis. Now we are building rooms with tiles and sometimes air conditioned, sometimes attached bathroom with the good quality. That's okay. I'm not actually in a big problem with that, because there is more punya. More you receive, more punya you get. So if you are a person who deserves to live like that, you should, because you have done punya. If you can facilitate monk to live nicely, like as example, there's a wrong belief in the lay people. They believe that monks always should live in a bad environment, like poor environment. So that is wrong. That they live in very nice house, very comfortable places. So monks also, if they can provide, wonderful, because they can meditate very well if they are in a very comfortable situation. So that is good. But the thing is that when you receive more financial support, then when you don't have money, then you have necessaries. You put the money and the donation to that particular necessary and you build. But when you have money more than you want, then you think of what to do with this money. So because of this donation flow in Sri Lanka, I am now recognizing that it just started only. Sri Lanka Forest Foundation is not receiving that much funds. Because of this fund flow from especially Asian countries, Singapore, China, Malaysia, Taiwan, all the Indonesia, then because of this donation flow, now the monks, forest monks are also thinking what to do with this money. We have a lot of money, what to do with this? Maybe buy a super luxury car, maybe buy... building is very good, no problem. Buying a vehicle also, okay, monks can go... But if you go beyond that, then it will be dangerous. You can build a comfortable meditation hall and a shrine room, all these things, and you can build meditation kuttis. You can get a good vehicle, 2 or 3 vehicles to a big monastery that monk can easily. But if you go beyond that, like making hospitals and go to the next step, sometime there's a possibility in the future maybe monks will invest that money in the stock market sometime, and then sometime they start some different things. So it's better than that. Because of that, I think it's worth to discuss about this matter, examine. This is just starting only, and it is coming. And then danger, other side in forest tradition, danger is that when you expose the society more, then you will try to fulfill the necessities of the society instead of doing the following the correct path. So now we are facing that, like when you expose to outside, you try to fulfill their necessities instead of doing your own work. So like moving away from the path. And the other way, the biggest danger I recognize is the forest monks try to segregate them from others. That we are forest, we are different, we are not like other monks. That is very dangerous, and you should not do that, because if you do that for long run, which is very dangerous, because they should not segregate any groups. As we know, ethnically, more you segregate people, more tension you develop. So anyone from city or forest can go to the forest and meditate. Anyone from forest tradition can go to the city and practice their education or whatever they want. They should be free. Then they should not label we are forest or we are city. At least you can have some organization. That's not a big problem. But if you segregate it so much, then it's like if you are a city monk, you are not welcome to practice meditation here. And if you are a forest monk, you are not welcome to the city. There shouldn't be something like that. As example, we know about the mana concept in Buddhism. There were some monks who really practice the path very well, so they go Pindapata. Why you go to Pindapata? To decrease the ego. But when you go to Pindapata, you say, we are the monks who go to Pindapata, we are not like others. So you develop mana instead of decreasing mana. So in the same way, we should not go to that extent. So now Sri Lankan, these are the main challenges I see. There may be many other challenges that I cannot see because I'm not actually studying what are the challenges to our tradition at the moment. I'm not examining all these things, but these are the things, when I think about it, these are the things appear in my mind right now. Maybe in the future, if I go through, like especially I don't live in Sri Lanka most of the time. That's another problem. I live in Sri Lanka only limited period of time. So when I live there, these are the things I see. Maybe if I live in Sri Lanka for a long time, If I start my own monastery and start managing that, then maybe I will change my point of view that I explained today. Maybe in the future. So better put that in the article as well, Bande, because I might change this statement if I start a center in Sri Lanka and start developing, because this is what I see as now actually I'm like a guest monk. Most of the time I spend in foreign countries and I go back to Sri Lanka, and I don't teach in Sri Lanka mainly. I teach most of the time I teach in foreign countries. Most of my students are in foreign countries, not in Sri Lanka. Only few students I have in Sri Lanka. So,
okay. So in terms of, we have a few minutes left.
No problem.
In terms of the, this is you're talking about the danger of Buddhism within Buddhism itself, like all the material thing, or the wealth and thing coming in. How about perspective of other religion, or with danger from outsider, that anything like that in Sri Lanka?
If you only consider about forest tradition, forest tradition don't have such threat like direct Muslim, Christian, or Tamil, Hindu. There's no direct threat to forest tradition, because forest tradition is not really a huge social influence. We are not influencing any political party or anything, society. We don't push anything against. So society, forest monasteries are more like we have. It's like other way around. Muslim people also come to forest tradition sometimes, learn meditation. Right. Christian people come to us and learn meditation. Hindu people come to us and learn meditation. So actually, in that case, religious harmony way, the mood of religious harmony, it's good, because forest traditions are more open to the world than other monks. Forest monks go all over the world, they meet different type of people, different religion. So then they are well known with all other religion. So then forest monks have more...
in Sri Lanka, is Buddhism become the religion of the country?
Yeah, Sri Lanka is a Buddhist country. That is a state religion. Yes, Buddhism is considered as a state religion.
State religion. Oh, I see. So, are there any feeling of other religion feel like, because Buddhism is a state religion, do they feel basically feel oppressed by Buddhism being the...
Yeah, they complain. Actually, there's a complaint from both sides. Muslim Christians and Muslim Christians and Hindu, not Tamil. Muslim Christians and Hindu people say we are suppressed by Buddhist government. We don't have lack of facility. Buddhist people complain we are the majority of this country. We are not getting all these things. Christians, Muslims, and Hindu people get more priority than us. So both sides actually complain. This is a very unclear thing, because when you go to Christian, Muslim, and Tamil areas, you can see that they are very prominent in their own religion. If you go to Buddhist cities, which are the majority, you can see they are prominent in that area. So we have that diversity there. That is something that should not be there. Like every place should be very much equally divided among everyone. But unfortunately, no. Both sides complain that we are mistreated by government. Both sides complain. Right. Every religious group say we are mistreated by government or society or majority.
So what do you see the benefit of Buddhism being a state religion? Are there any difference between they're not a state religion? Like in Thailand, we talking about it for a long time, but they never settled down about who's going to be a state religion. So we don't have state religion yet.
Sri Lanka, this is also a debate. Because in the constitution it says that Sri Lanka is a Sinhala and Buddhist country. But now they have changed it, I think. I'm not so sure about this matter. I have to go through that with someone who have the political knowledge, whether this is true or not, because there are some debate going on that Sri Lankans represent the country, recognize the country as a Sinhala Buddhist country. This is how we say it's a Sinhala Buddhist. I think Myanmar, they say, no? It's a Buddhist country. Right. Thailand should say, because it's more than 90%. Thailand should. So you can put in the article, I'm proposing Thai government to name as Thailand as a Buddhist country, at least Buddhist country, Thai Buddhist country. So the same way Sri Lanka, we recognize Sri Lanka as a Sinhala Buddhist country, but some politicians, they are not agree with that.
You mean Buddhist?
Yeah, even Buddhist politicians, they say no, this is not a Sinhala Buddhist country, this is country for everyone.
Okay.
So still, we believe Sri Lankan and the government still treat Buddhism as the first religion of the country. In that case, yes. About the constitution or a written document, I'm not so sure, but I'll look for it. I'll give you some advice about that. But Sri Lankans and Buddhist people, they recognize, mainly majority of the government recognize Sri Lanka as a Sinhala Buddhist country. Buddhist country mainly.
So you think that helped in terms of monks?
Yes, actually, when the country is stated by government as a Buddhist country, definitely there's a huge support, of course, because according to democracy, we always take the majority's wish. No?
How many percent of Sri Lanka being Buddhist?
At the moment, Buddhists are 70 plus. Not so sure exactly. 70 plus. Some people say 75, some say 72. Again, we have to check facts. We can check somewhere. So then, Sri Lanka is a Buddhist country, but the thing is that when the government is supporting, that is a huge help for Buddhism to incline and develop up to some level. But as example, even Buddha's time, without government support, there were no king support. There was no dispensation spread. Even when Ashoka sent to the 9 countries, Buddhism to 9 countries, even then, Ashoka, even then the support of the king was there. Without king support, you can't do that. So the state support is very, very important to spread a religion, stability of the religion. So Sri Lanka and Myanmar, I think they have the silent also they should have. It is much better because Buddhism is a very harmonious religion. Even not like others. So when you have state support, you don't hurt other people. It doesn't happen like that. So you can live as a Buddhist, as any other religion, until you're not going to extreme end, you can live in the society peacefully. But when you look into other religions, when they are dominant in their society, they don't even allow other people to live. They want them to leave the country.
Okay, so thank you very much.